Hi, myself Naveen Kumar Sani. In the course Wireless and Mobile Communication, code REC 085, in Unit 4, the last lecture, that is lecture number 4, in which we will discuss about the multiple access for radio packet systems. So, before this lecture, we have covered about some multiple access control techniques in which we discussed about the different phenomena like aloha, pure aloha, slotted aloha. Then we come to the contention techniques like CSMA. Okay, so in continuation with that, we will discuss about the contention free method in this lecture. So first one is CSMA or CSMA-CD. So contention free or the contention techniques which we have discussed, that is the CSMA in the previous lecture, in which there are different methods was there which are based on the probability itself. That was the first persistent and the one persistent, non-persistent and p-persistent. So in continuation with that, we have these are the basic CSMA techniques. Now here that we will discuss about the CSMA-CD. So the full form for that is CSMA with the collision detection, carrier sense multiple access with the collision detection. So in the basic CSMA, in which the two terminals if begins to sending the packets at the same time, then each will transmit its complete packet even if collision takes place. So this was the case in the case of CSMA. In that we have also discussed what is the different steps for transmitting the packets into the common channel by the subscribers. But there is some issue with the CSMA technique, that problem which occurs, that is wasting medium for an entire packet duration. Okay, so if the collision is occurred, so because of the collision that time period will be destroyed completely. So we cannot use that. So for that we have to go for some solution part of this. So the solution for this CSMA issue, that is the CSMA-CD. So the principle based on the CSMA-CD, or you can say the CSMA with the collision detection idea. So in that what we introduce the time, that is the back off immediately after the collision which occurs. So for using the different mobile stations, so we provide the back off time, okay, so that the retransmission can be takes place. So in that, what is the method or the steps which it can be followed in the CSMA-CD? That is in the step 1, if the medium is idle. Okay, so in that easily we can mobile station will transmit the packets. Okay, so this is the first step. Second, if the medium is busy. So if the medium is busy, in that case the subscriber will continuously listen until the channel is idle. So continuously it will sense the channel and it will find when the channel is idle. So in that case, after that it will be transmit. So that mobile station or the subscriber will transmit the packets into the common channel. In the third step, when a collision is detected, okay, so this is the case when the collision is detected during the transmission. So in that case, it is easy, it creates the transmission or the transmitting immediately, and it will wait for a random amount of time and it will go to the step number 1. Okay, so in that case the improvement, so these are the case which we discussed also about the CSMA. So the improvement in the CSMA is to able to terminate a transmission as soon as the collision is detected. It should not be wait for a long random amount of time. So for that it will terminate the transmission as the collision is detected at some instant of time. Second, it prevents wasting whole time slot. So these are the improvements which will take place when we talk about the CSMA-CD. Okay, so these are the improvement which will take which we require in the CSMA cases. So in the next is the CSMA-CA, that is a collision avoidance. Okay, so in the first case, the collision was detected. Now the collision avoidance can be takes place. In that, the basic collision avoidance scheme is here. It is mentioned that CSMA-CA rule is used back off before collision to avoid the collisions. Okay, so back off time will be provided before the collision. So in that case, in this frame we can see that the mobile station A is frame, it is transmitting, no issue. So at this instant of time, like at the end of this time, it sees that the mobile station B and C senses the medium. So when B and C senses the medium and it provide that it is free. So if it will transmit at this instant of time, then again the collision will occur, right? So when so in the database it will be stored that B and C wants to transmit the signals or the packets. So in this case, the backoff time will be provided for each and every subscriber. So for the backoff time for delay for the B, it is there. So in that case, mobile station B resenses the medium and it find at this instant the medium is free. So mobile station B will send the packets, right? So at the same time, from starting from this point, the backoff delay will be provided to the mobile station C. Okay, so in this case, when the mobile station C resenses the medium but differs to the mobile station B, and it find that the mobile station B is already using this medium, so this mobile station C will not transmit the packets. So again it will be go beyond this backoff time up to this time period from here to here. Suppose this is T. So again it will be provided to from here again T times. So again it will again try to send the packets after T backoff time. So this is the method which is used in the CSMA-CA. So when the medium idle for a period, so that must be greater than DIFS. So it means when the idle time period is greater than DIFS. So what is DIFS? So the DIFS is distributed interframe space. So this is just like a guard band or the guard period, sorry. Okay. So this time idle period time must be greater than DIFS. So after that, the any mobile station can transmit the signals. Okay. So in the standard specification, that is 802.11b standard networks, the DIFS value is your 50 microsecond. So it says that the DIFS, this is the time period which is the value of 50 microsecond. Okay. So after this period, any of the mobile station can transmit the signal from A to B itself. This for example. Okay. So this time period must be greater than DIFS. Okay. So channel was idle at least DIFS seconds and next frame can be transmitted from the any other mobile stations. Okay. So next is that is PRMA. So in which the slotted time frame is used, the slotted time frame is used in the PRMA. So the full form for PRMA is Packet Reservation Multiple Access. So which refers to multiple access strategies with frames of fixed number of slots, right? So in which the fixed number of slots are assigned or the discrete number of slots are assigned for the users. So in case a terminal contains a set of data packets or speech segments which wants to deliver. Okay, so it competes to gain access in free slot. Okay, so in this case what happened? If any mobile station A wants to access the channel, so in that case, what is the case? That mobile station must have the data to transmit. Then it will sense the channel and it tried to get the free slot. Okay, as I said, the time frame is divided into the different slots, and these slots are always ready. I mean, the different mobile stations are always ready to access the these slots. So they will all the time continuously senses the channel so that it can find the slot for transmission. So if it can successfully capture the base station for to the base station transmitting the messages or the packets, the terminal acquires reservation in the associated slots, that is the free slot, to the next frames, and right until it releases the reservation. Till then it will capture the slot and it will transmit the messages, okay, to the base station. So in the PRMA, the adjacent cells make use of distinct carrier frequencies in line with a cellular reuse plan. Okay. So the fundamental process of PRMA includes occupying a time slot only at the time of the speech targets and releasing the channel at the time of silence periods. Okay. So whenever it wants to transmit the mobile station has to capture the slots, and after capturing the slot it will send the transmission, it will send the packets. Okay. Then PRMA is previously widely used for the speech traffic, and it can be used for data users as well as because of its bandwidth efficiency, random access and reservation qualities. The flexibility in receiving the various traffic bit rates makes PRMA fine candidate for the multi-rate data traffic. Okay, so there is a flexibility for receiving the various traffics, different bit rates. So another benefit of PRMA is it demands minimal central control, as the handover calls for minimal intervention from the base station, an active voice terminal which moves into another cells which drops its slot reservation. Okay, so this is the process. So in which the content with other terminals. Okay, so it will compete for getting the free slots, right? So in this case it is to leftover voice packets. So in addition, the terminal demands registration with the new base stations. So in a very simple way, we can say that the mobile stations, different mobile stations, just like mobile station 1, A, B and C, they wants to access the base station to transmit the packets. So for that, these three different mobile stations will try to compete with for getting the slots in the common channel. Okay, so for competing that slots, so if any one of these mobile stations successfully capture that slot, and they will start transmitting the packets to the mobile station, till then complete reservation is completed. Okay, so after the completion of the reservation, it will be a silence period. Fine. So the resulting delay can compel the terminal to lose voice packets and degrading its overall performance. Okay, so the reservation is required, registration is required for with the base stations. Okay, so the mobile stations have to register with the dedicated base stations first. Then one key benefit of PRMA protocol is that it can be used in combination with existing CDMA and TDMA based systems. Okay, so it can be used in the CDMA or the TDMA based systems. So it can also be incorporated with the next gen WCDMA, or you can say the third generation. Okay, so it can be incorporated with the third generation CDMA system or the next gen WCDMA systems. PRMA centered protocol is ideal for multimedia traffic due to its dynamic and flexible bandwidth allocation process. So these are the some of the informations about the PRMA which is used for accessing the channel by the competing the channel or the different slots for transmitting the packets to the base station by the mobile stations. So there are some facts about the PRMA. So first one is the TDMA with the slotted Aloha reservation system is used. As we said, slotted Aloha means a time frame is divided into different slots, and these slots are occupied by the mobile stations to transmit the signals, right. Second, source rates are 32 kbps, then frame duration, that is 16 millisecond, which comprise the 62.5 frames per second, 20 slots per frame, channel bit rate is 720 kbps and bandwidth is 720 kilohertz. 576 bits per slots are allocated, which contains the 64-bit overheads. Packet dropping rate is 1% and it supports the data and the voice. Next is next technique, that is a DAMA, that is a demand assigned multiple access, in which the channel efficiency, that is 18% for Aloha and 36% for the slotted Aloha. Okay, in this the distribution which is assumed, that is Poisson distribution for packet arrival and packet length. Reservation can be increased efficiently to 80%. A sender reserves a full time slot. Sending within this reserved time slot is possible without collision. Reservation also causes higher delays. Typical scheme for satellite links, and some of the examples for reservation algorithm which is there, that is explicit reservation, reservation Aloha, implicit reservation, that is PRMA, reservation TDMA. So these are the different examples for the DAMA. So in the explicit, in the case of access method of DAMA, there is explicit reservation, in which there are two methods or two modes of operations are there. First is the Aloha mode for the reservation. Second is the reserved mode for the case DAMA. So in the Aloha case, the competition for small reservation slots are there, and the collision can be possible in this case. In the reserved mode, the data transmission in reserved mode, there is no collision possible when there is a reservation, just like we have discussed in the case of PRMA, right. So in this case, the important point to measure is for all stations to keep the reservation rates consistent. Okay. Second, all stations have to synchronize periodically. Okay. So in this is just mentioned here the Aloha reserved case, and when we are using the Aloha case, then the reservation so collision may occur. So it is showing in this red point in which the collision is occurred when we are not using the slotted Aloha. So PRMA implicit reservation case, in which the PRMA, that is packet reservation MA, in this case the certain number of slots form a frame, just like it is mentioned here, the frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, 4 and 5, in which the frames are established through the different slots. So this is showing the slot for 1 slot, 2nd, 3rd up to 8 time slots, in which the different mobile stations are reserved the slots like A, in this pattern A, C, D, A, B, A space F. Okay, A, C, D, A, B, A space F, and here A, C, A, B, A, F, and A, this B, A, F, D, and A, C, E, E, B, A, F, D, that is frame 5. So in this, the stations compete for empty slot using the slotted Aloha, right. Second, once the station reserves a slot successfully, slot is assigned to this station in all the following frames. as long as the stations have the data to send. Next is competition for slot starts again once the slot was empty in the last frame. So here these are reservation for the different slots. Slot 1 is assigned for A, slot B 2 is assigned for C, 3 is assigned for D, and here that is E is assigned after it is empty, right. So in this figure it is showing that in the frame number 1 and frame number 3 these are collisions occurs, okay, collision at reservation attempts, okay. So at the same time when the two stations are sending the information, I mean accessing this slot, so collision may occur. So it shows that any of the station can use this slot because this is empty or the idle, and here itself this is the empty slot, so any of the station can use this. Here itself this is free, so here any of the station can use this slot, and here itself, so this blank which is unread are the empty slot, so any of the station can use these frames to transmit the data. But the red point is showing, red block is showing that the collision is occurred at the reservation attempts, okay. So it means there is no reservation occurred at these two slots, okay. So next, that is reservation, TDMA reservation, in which the every frame consists of n mini slots where the x data slots are assigned to that, then each station has its own mini slot and can reserve up to k data slots using this mini slot. That value is s equal to n into k. So other stations can send data in unused data slot, as I have just mentioned in the previous case, with unused data slots are there according to round robin sending schemes. That is the best effort traffic. Okay, so n mini slots, reservation for data slots. So these are the reservations for the data slots. Just like this one, slot is reserved for this data slot, second is reserved for this data slot, and so on. So in this the other stations can use free data slots based on the round robin schemes. Okay, so if any of the station is just like this one, this is free, this is free, this is free. So these white blocks are free, and these gray colors are the light violet color blocks are reserved and reserved data. Okay, so these are reserved, but these empty slots can be used by the any other station. So all the time the sensing of the channel will occur, and due to which the transmission of data can be takes place. So MACA, this is one of the very important technique in the contention techniques, that is multiple access with collision avoidance, in which it uses the short signaling packets for collision avoidance. So what are those? In this different signals are transmitted, like RTS, this is request to send. So in which the sender uses the RTS packets to request write to send before it sends the packet data. These are request to send. It is if any of the base station mobile station wants to transmit to the different mobile stations, so this which wants to send, this will send the first RTS. Okay, then the CTS, that is clear to send, the receiver grants the right to send as soon as it is ready to receive. Okay, so there are some signaling packet domains which signal contains the signal packets will contain the sender address, receiver address, and the packet size. So these are the signaling packets. So variant of this method can be found in this standard, that is IEEE 802.11 as DFW MAC, that is Distributed Foundation Wireless MAC. Okay, so this is the method which is used in the MACA. So in this, the first, as it will send the RTS. Then after hearing that, any station can hear the CTS itself, which is nearby to that station. We will discuss it, to the receiving station and remains silent during the data transmission. It attempts to transmit after hearing the acknowledgement. So, very important point about the MACA, this is a non-persistent slotted protocol. Okay, so as we have discussed about the one persistent, P persistent and non-persistent in the previous lecture. So, this implies that if the medium is detected is busy, the station waits for a random amount of period. So, after the beginning of the time or the time slot, it sends the RTS, and this assures fair access to the medium. So, which offers the solution to the hidden exposed terminal problem. Okay. So, this is the method which we have discussed. If transmitting station A is there and this guy wants to transmit to the B station, then first station A will send the RTS packet request to send. So, this information will go into this region. So, RTS will go to the station neighboring station here and the receiving station B. Then after this dedicated receiving station, this will send the CTS. So, this CTS will be transmit into in this zone. So, this because this is your dedicated connection which we required between the transmitter and the receiver, then so in this duration this neighboring station will be silent till the transmission of the data is occurred between the A and B. So, when the data transmission is completely successfully sent to B from the transmitting station A, then after that this receiving station B will send the acknowledgement. So, again this acknowledgement will go to both the nearby stations. So, after accessing this till the acknowledgement is received by this neighboring B station. So, in this case till then this neighboring station within range of B will be silent. Okay. So, this will be silent. So, this is a silent period for neighboring station to B. So, what is a hidden terminal problem? In this hidden terminal problem, the carrier sends multiple access or CSMA. All the terminals listen to the inbound or the nearby channels. So, no new packet transmission is initiated when the inbound channel is sensed busy. Okay. So, this requires that all the mobile stage terminals can receive each other's signals on the inbound frequency. So, however, in the mobile radio nets, are facing the channel and path loss, a mobile terminal might not be able to sense a transmission by the another terminal, and which is called the hidden terminal problem. Okay, so it is mentioned that there are 3 stations which are labeled as A, B and C. So, where STA and STC are transmitting while B is receiving. Okay. So, the stations are in the configuration such that the 2 transmitter A and B, C, station C are not in the range of each other. So, if they wants to transmit, then in that case this is also transmitting to this is also transmitting to this. So, at the same time when it is collecting at the STB, so it will be lost. So, collision will occur. So, it means we can say the range of A is this one, range of C is this one. So, but A and C, they are not aware about each other. So, this is a hidden terminal problem. So, solution for that is, for transmitting station sends a RTS frame to the receiving station. The receiving station replies by sending the CTS, and on the receipt of CTS frame, the transmitting station begins transmitting. So, any other station hearing the RTS is close to neighboring station and remains silent long enough for the CTS. So, this concept we have discussed. I mean, this is a solution which we covered in the MACA, MACA. Okay. Similar to that, we have the exposed terminal problem, in which a transmission problem that arises when the transmitting antenna station is prevented from sending frames due to interference with another transmitting station. So the above diagram in this diagram, it shows that the transmission is going on from station B to station A. Present transmission, right? So in this case, this is a range of station A, this is a range of station B, and range of station C, and this is a range of station D. So it shows that STC here falsely conclude that the above transmission is in this region, right? So in this case, the transmission which can cause interference, this is the thinking by the STC. So it stops transmitting attempt to STD. So in this case, if this guy, the STB, wants to transmit to station A, but STC will see that B is busy, it means if BC's do not want to send to B, BC wants to send to D only, right? But it will assume, because this STC is in the range of STB, so it will assume that this transmission is going on, so there may be the collision, so it will avoid to send the transmission to D. So this is the exposed terminal problem. So in that case, the transmission solution will be occur. That solution for that is, transmitting station sends a RTS frame to the receiving station, and the receiving station implies by sending the CTS. So same process will occur, okay, for the case of exposed problem, as we have discussed in the this MACA. Okay, these are the solutions. So last topic, that is ISMA, that is inhibit sense multiple access. This is nothing but it will send the busy tone. That's it. So current state of the medium is signaled via the busy tone. So in that case, the base station signals on the downlink if the medium is free or not, and terminals must send if the terminal is busy. Okay, so the terminals can access the medium as soon as busy tone is stopped. And last, the base station signals collisions and successfully transmission occur via the busy tone, right? And acknowledgement will be occur respectively, and the medium access is not coordinated in this case, but the inhabitually sense the multiple access in the medium. Okay. So thank you very much. So we have covered all the packet schemes and the contention techniques till now. Okay, thank you very much.